Hey, Jay. A guy you've known because you've coached him for the last few years in the American League, and we saw him a little bit, Niemelainen. I want to get your thoughts on, he has a very unique skill set that just not a lot of guys are able to deliver hard, punishing checks without getting out of position all the time. What impresses you about that skill set of his and something that's rather unique in today's game?
It just his timing. He has a good sense of timing. He's, he's just such a great skater that he closes quickly too. And when you combine timing with the ability to skate, I think that makes him dangerous. And he's certainly a valued member of our back end.
Stuart Skinner is going to go tonight, and here's a player that the organization's drafted, develop. It seems almost like the ideal development curve. Start in the American League, become a backup, and now be a guy who earns a spot. He came in relief, got praise from the opposing team coach. So what have you seen in the development of Skinner that makes you confident that he's going to be a guy that you can rely on whenever you need him this season?
Yeah, I'd actually say he started in the East Coast Hockey League, which he did, and spent a good amount of time down there. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's healthy for young goaltenders to try and hit each developmental step along the way. And, my experience with Stuart goes back to when he was drafted, seeing him in development camps, and then certainly in Bakersfield, his first year, he spent some time in Bakersfield, but most time in the East Coast Hockey League. But when it came to crunch time in that season, we played him in elimination games in the second round of the playoffs. That was our belief in him at that time, and he's just gotten better and better. He's a mature young man that goes about his business the right way, and he trusted his process, and happy for him that he gets to start here tonight. I have a real belief in him.
Just back to Niemelainen for a second. Skinner just called him a gentle soul. How do you contrast his off-ice personality with his on-ice personality?
A gentle soul. Wow.
Off-ice.
Yeah. No, he's the strong, silent type. Doesn't say a whole lot, but has a good sense of humor about him. And when he gets on the ice, he's all business. And we already talked about it with Jason there, that he is physical, and it's probably one of the best elements to his game.
On the goaltending, how would you characterize your approach to the competition between these two guys? Is it strictly a meritocracy where you keep playing well and you keep getting to play? Is it how would you characterize what you think is a healthy way to go about it between those two?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to put a label on it or put myself into a box. For me, the season is so young right now. And, I thought Jack gave us a chance to win that first game, which he did. He kind of calmed the waters for us. Obviously, there were some moments that we would have liked to have back in that first game, and that's how it was in the second game as well. We have some moments there that we would have wanted to have back. Stuart went in and acquitted himself really well. We got a strong belief in both guys. Stuart gets the net tonight.
And really healthy for them to be pushing one another for starts. A coach, I would assume, wants that.
Yeah, they're both, not only are they good goaltenders, they're good people and good teammates. They cheer for each other, but when it's their net, they want to keep it. And, I like the word you used. I would say it's very healthy when that type of atmosphere is the one that you have for your goaltending department.
Hey Jay, there are going to be a lot of high-end defensive draft picks on the ice tonight. They got a couple, you got a couple. I just wanted to get your opinion on the toughest thing for a guy like that, players like that come in, high expectations, highly offensive defenseman. What's the toughest thing to make the adjustments in the league and become a dependable defenseman in this league?
Yeah, I would say that playing defense in the National Hockey League is especially as a young person, it's a tall challenge. It's the best league in the world, the best forwards in the world. There's a level of physicality that you need to have, a level of strength that you need to have. We like to say that defenseman's job at this level is to defend first and then let the offense come off of that. So I think that's important to understand. There's a lot of theories out there regarding young defensemen in the NHL, and some say that you don't really know what you have until they've played about 200 games. I don't know about the accuracy of that, but that is something that gets floated. I think the big thing for us is, as a team, we put value and import on defending hard, checking hard, and then we feel that, if you do that the right way, that the offense comes out of good checking.
Guys like Owen Power, guys like Bouchard, they're very offensive defensemen come through junior. They have the puck a lot. I guess, is that a tough skill to teach? So suddenly you're saying, okay, well, now you have to be responsible for your own end. When they were growing up, they always had the puck, so they really didn't have to, I'm not saying not pay attention to defensive responsibilities, but they were offensive guys coming into the end.
Yeah. Power went to University of Michigan, and Bouchard obviously played in London. I think the skill sets that both of those young defensemen have, it's exciting for the future of the National Hockey League, because I'd throw Darlene in that mix too, certainly. And, I think you never want to coach the offense out of them. It's about just making sure that priority, certainly here in Edmonton for Bouch, priority is put on defending hard and letting your offense come through organically.
Jay, I want to ask you about your power play and the players that play on it. Just want to get a comment on the role it's played in providing a spark in your comeback bids in the first 2 games.
Well, yeah, I think the power play for us is a form of our toughness. It's something that can, deter other teams from taking needless penalties against us, or if another team wants to try and get involved physically with us, we're game. But, if our power play is humming at the level it is, then that can back some teams off from taking needless penalties. I think what you want in a power play is to score timely goals. And I think in the last 2 games, we found ourselves behind early, and our power play helped get us back into both of those games.
A couple early trends in the league this early season. Vancouver can't hold a lead. Sheldon Keefe said his star players aren't up to speed yet. Your team's had only 2 games, but 2 not very good starts. So how do you coach your way out of that without, making it a big deal, but making sure it doesn't get to 3 games, 4 games, 5 games? Yeah,
I think for us, we put our focus on the process of chunking it down a little bit. What I mean by that is putting our focus on the things that go into a good start. I think everybody in here, I think everybody in the community knows that we didn't start well in our first 2 games. That's a fact. But for us, in order to use the word coach our way out of it, but for us, it's figuring our way out of it, is just to compartmentalize, chunk it down into small pieces of the things that we can do better. And in the end, we have to go out and execute it.
Is it at some point, is it up to the players when the coach leaves the room? Do the players have to take control of this thing?
No, I think we're all in it together. That's the mindset we've always had here, is that coaches and players are in it together, and I use the term figuring it out. It's our job to figure it out together. Thanks, guys.